Even though most of us have invested thousands of hours into ARK, we all make the same stupid mistakes over and over again. Every one of us has jumped off a flyer in mid-air without a parachute or snagged a fertilized giga egg while its parents were still watching. Today, I'm going to hurt you with the top 20 stupid things we all did and still do in ARK. The ranking I'll be using is based on how often something happens to you, how severe the impact is on you, and of course how much your mates will judge you for your fail. Hopefully you can make it to the end of the video without cringing, and if you do, you have to say how many of these things have already happened to you. Grab a bottle of water and let's get straight into it. Getting your most valuable items stolen by Pago or your weapon kicked out of your hand by a bird is somewhat painful, but overall it should not bother you too much if you're at least a little bit prepared. Both the Pago and Ichti are easy kill, and you should be able to get your stuff back pretty fast. Yet both of them can bother you in two ways, and this can hurt a lot. The first way is due to the fact that both the Pago and the Ichti spawn in beginner areas, meaning they will try to torture you as soon as you spawned the first time, and every time you got a little bit of loot, one of them will come and take it away from you. The second way is you run through the forest, and while something different hits you, a Pago steals something valuable from your inventory. You will only realize that your pocket giga is now being carried throughout the wilderness by a wild Pago when you want to throw it at an opponent in battle, and it is simply no longer there. Overall, it is ranked pretty low, as you can easily prevent this from happening by not putting important stuff at the end of your hotbar. But if it happens to you, your mates will judge you pretty hard, especially if you put a cryopod in the last slot of your hotbar. Getting eaten by piranhas while crossing a river is not that painful, but it will happen to everyone at least once, okay, at least maybe twice. ARK's oceans have always been dangerous, and most of us die way too many times trying to tame an angler. But hell, ARK's rivers can be pain, especially in early game. What looks safe to be crossed without the creature could be the last thing you do in that run. Getting killed by piranhas is something we all learn to deal with. If you die to piranhas, you can simply fix that by running to the spot you died without equipment, jump into the water and die while you claim your stuff, just to reset the timers until you give in and just let the fish have your loot. If your mates judge you for this one, saying this never happened to them, then they are filthy liars. Well, piranhas are at least not your own fault. Sometimes it is just how it is. Drowning because you overlooked your stamina is 100% your own fault. It is annoying, it should not happen, and you will get some facepalms from your mates. Yet, it is not that bad. If you're careful, you can avoid drowning. Having a scuba in your inventory can help, and you can always place a chair underwater to reset your stamina before you drown. Yet, having an eye on your stamina is important, and is probably the single best way on how you can avoid pain in ARK. Unmounting a flyer mid-air is something everyone will judge you for, which does not mean it doesn't happen to everybody else, but it will be good for a laugh. We all have done it, and we all will continue to. One little slip and you'll be on the ground, while your creature will be waiting for you in the air, to prevent you from making a fool out of yourself while running around like a madman on the ground and whistling the air. Simply take a parachute with you. With your parachute, you can fix your mistake in a fraction of a second, and you and your creature will land safely on the ground. This shouldn't be something you take too serious, as it won't happen that many times. Unmounting to the wrong side of your creature can cause you a lot of pain. Have you ever been flying somewhere, landing to reset stamina, then unmount your creature just to jump off that pillar you landed on, just to watch your RG getting eaten by a bunch of wild raptors? Yeah, this one can hurt. But it is less about the fact that you're losing a creature. It is more about running around the pillar and not being able to whistle it. I mean, it can't be only me that this happens, but it happens sometimes. Not that many, but some. It does not hurt that much, but it can be annoying. Your mates will still judge you, because it is a rookie mistake. Everybody should know that you can control the direction you're unmounting. And that's why your mates will laugh at you. Unmounting to the wrong side is one thing. At least you can get back to your creature pretty fast. Unmounting underwater and having to swim to the surface is a whole lot of a different story. Most creatures instantly float to the surface, which guarantees death for you if you're not prepared. It is neither very annoying, nor does it happen too often if you don't live underwater, and the same happens to your mate. But suffocating while your Spino swims away from you is not pleasant either. After 1 to 2 attempts, you will realize this, and then it is no longer a problem. For snacking fertilized eggs, your mates will not only judge you, but they will hate you. We have all slipped once and eaten an egg from our favorite gigas. For most of us, this shouldn't happen too often, and even if it does, the worst that will happen is that your mates will force you to hatch the next 10 eggs by hand. It may be a little annoying, but not a big deal, as long as the parents stay alive and you can make new eggs. Some of the newer players will probably don't even know this anymore, as Wildcard added a double check in ASA to ask you one more time if you still want to eat that egg. If you still press yes, you're a madman. The most ridiculous thing that can happen to you in PvP is to fall unconscious on the ground in the middle of a fight because you forgot to drink water. Not only will your mates laugh at you, your opponents will laugh even louder, and they will rub it in your face forever. Guys, stay hydrated. If you play ARK for hours, and I know you do, most of us play for at least 4 hours at a time, and don't drink enough water. Every time you drink water in-game, you should also take a big sip of water. Drinking enough during your gaming sessions will help your brain work properly, stay focused and make the right decisions when you get into trouble. Not paying attention will be a running gag throughout the video. Being thrown into a trap by an RG in a careless moment while knocking out the UT is probably one of them. We've all been pushed off a cliff or thrown into a trap as bait while trying to tame a dino. As long as you have placed sleeping bags, nothing worse should have happened, except from losing some time to get everything back. And, as we know, we always place sleeping bags before we do anything dangerous or stupid. Talking about taming creatures, we've all killed a creature we wanted to tame at least once. It shouldn't happen too often, but it really hurts when you kill that max level Rex that you've been looking for hours with just one shot. Not only is it quite annoying to look for a new dino, it also has to have the right level and preferably really good stats. Yes, it depends a little on which dino it is, but your mates will be pretty annoyed when they see that you have to start the dino search all over again. Losing taming effectiveness can hurt a lot. It feels so good to have finally found the dino you need. The level of 150 fits and he doesn't look bad either. It was knocked out in a few minutes, and then a random saber-tooth hits the dino 3 times and the taming effectiveness is gone. Before we got the Archelon, you could just kill the dino. Because with 0% taming effectiveness, it's no better than a random level creature. It has happened to all of us at one time or another, but it still hurts and you don't get used to it. If you're well prepared, it won't happen that often. But even with spikes, dinosaurs or players will keep coming and destroying your progress. Your mates may be a little annoyed, but they can't really be angry with you, because sometimes you just can't help it. It's pretty bad to lose your creatures. Losing them because they were neutral and simply attack the next Rex instead of running away is also pretty stupid. One moment you're trying to tame the Rex, and the next moment your Pteranodon is trying to kill the Rex without success. After 2 bites, you're standing there. No Rex, no Pteranodon, and your mates shake their heads. Because you just made a rookie mistake. Every player knows that as soon as you tame, breed, or simply throw out a dino out of a cryo, whistle for passive first, otherwise something for sure will go wrong. That's pretty annoying, but it shouldn't happen too often. But honestly, nothing is quite as ridiculous as riding a flyer with 0 stamina. One moment you're flying over the map, and in the next moment your mount slows down to a crawl mid-air. Slowly but surely, you and your flyer will get closer and closer to the ground, until at some point you simply stop mid-air. You have no choice but to jump off and hope that you don't get crushed by raptors. Or you're hunting an enemy overlooking your stamina just to get destroyed seconds after your stamina reached 0. Not paying attention to the stamina of your creature is pretty stupid, and you'll practically die from it every time. It's quite annoying and everyone will laugh at you. The only positive side is that if you're careful and have an eye on your stamina, it won't happen too often. There are only a few things that hurt more than realizing in the middle of a boss fight that you and all your dinos you took into the fight are going to die. You're going to lose everything and there's nothing you can do. You were simply too badly prepared and your dinos will pay for it with their lives. You can give up right now or you can finish the fight. Many would fight. I say, save yourself the time, take your fate with you and throw yourself in front of the boss. It's particularly bad when you've almost beaten the boss, just 1 or 2 minutes more and you would have won. Nothing. All your creatures are now gone. Hopefully, this won't happen to you too often, but when it does, it will be really painful. And the loss of 20 Rexes will make your mates mad for a long time. Okay, this one is my favorite. Throwing out dinos with cryo sickness when you need them is hilarious. I call it finching and my mate is a pro at it. We need a golem and swoosh, it's sleeping on the ground. Give me the giga, wham, and the opponent gets a free kill. Get used to it, everyone has a mate like that. And it will happen over and over again. The good thing is that in most situations it's not even a problem, because it's right in front of your base or somewhere where nobody can see you. But if it happens to you in the middle of PvP, nobody will take you seriously anymore, especially if you give the opponent the free kill. In my eyes, Tullars are one of the most vicious creatures in ARK. Not only can they do a huge amount of damage, I guarantee they will snipe you and your flyer in the redwood and kill you both. Getting sniped by a Tullar is pretty disgusting. You get killed, your dino gets killed and you won't get your stuff back anytime soon. But as long as you didn't bring anything important with you, nothing worse happened. Not even your mates will judge you, because it's already happened to them and it will happen again. It's still annoying to get your stuff back or lose a kid just because you weren't paying attention for a moment. Capros are even worse than Tullars. Everyone has at least respect for Tullars, but Capros are unfortunately so underestimated that you often forget about them. And then the pain with them is even greater. The advantage over Tullars is that you don't have to go into the swamp as often, so you don't meet Capros as often as Tullars. But once they've caught you, you don't really need to come back to get your stuff. Just deal with it, it's gone. Your mates won't even mind that much. Capros are monsters and they want to see the world burn. And they will make life hell for every player who goes into the swamp. The last entry in the category, you, your dinos and everything around you will die, are Microraptors. I mean, what sadistic bastard thought up these beasts? All you have to do is fly through the forest and suddenly you and your dinos are sitting on the ground without being able to defend yourself. Microraptors may not be strong, but that doesn't really matter if you have to watch you and your creatures being eaten for 20 seconds straight. Don't worry, your mates won't laugh. Everyone hates Microraptors, and this for a good reason. Okay, for most people, it's far the worst thing after a long day or in the morning after a long night out. Log in to the server, join the game and see nothing but the ruins of your own base. For PvP players, there is nothing worse than being wiped from the server while being offline. The worst thing is not the wipe itself. The worst thing is not being able to defend yourself. If there's one thing PvP players want, it's a good fight. Even if you lose it in the end, you can rebuild your base, dinos can be tamed, and resources and BPs can be farmed. But PvP players want to fight, to sit in front of the PC with burning eyes at 3 o'clock in the morning and shoot opponents of their dinos. But waking up and only seeing the empty ruins of a base can break even the strongest PvP player. I hope you liked this video and I'm thrilled to read what hurt you the most. Hit the like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm and consider subbing to the channel. Alright, Frodo.